Welcome to Still Stella, living life sarcastically. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Still Stella, living life sarcastically. This podcast comes with a trigger warning, extreme sarcasm, and mild emotional violence. If you are sensitive to sarcasm, please proceed with caution. If you are married, over 40, have you ever reached for your keys while they were in your hand, or have you ever stood in the middle of your house wondering why you walked into a room? Welcome. You are among your people. Today we're talking about adulting, subscriptions, and household projects. Basically, we're talking about all the things nobody warned us about when we were younger. Because let me tell you something. Adulting is a scam. I'd like to cancel my subscription at this point. I would like to end my membership. I would like to speak to whoever created this program because I have several complaints. Remember when we were young and we couldn't wait to be grown? We would say things like, I can't wait until I'm an adult. I can't wait until I can do whatever I want. I can't wait until nobody tells me what to do. Well, I'm still waiting because apparently adulthood means you get to make your own decisions, as long as those decisions include going to work, paying bills, making appointments, cleaning things, fixing things, and pretending you understand your insurance policy. Nobody mentioned that part. Nobody sat us down and said, congratulations, when you grow up, you get freedom. And then quietly added, also, you get taxes, paperwork, responsibilities, and a suspicious amount of emails from companies asking you to reset your password. That was a little bait and switch. When we were kids, our biggest responsibilities were things like finish your dinner, clean your room, be home before the streetlights come on. That was it. And honestly, we had no idea how good we had it. Gen X kids were out there riding bikes all over the neighborhood, drinking from garden hoses, disappearing for hours, and our parents were just like, be home when it gets dark. No tracking apps, no location sharing, no text messages asking, where are you? But nobody knew where we were, and somehow we survived. Now I have a phone that can tell me exactly where my husband is, where my packages are, and where my car is parked. But somehow I still lose my sunglasses that are sitting on top of my head. Technology has come so far, and yet here we are. I was also told there'd be snacks. That was a major selling point of adulthood. Nobody told me, though, the snacks would eventually come with consequences. When you're younger, you can eat whatever you want. Your body just says, okay. You eat pizza at midnight? No problem. You eat an entire bag of chips. Your body says, interesting choice, but we'll allow it. Then you hit a certain age and suddenly your body becomes a strict roommate. You eat a cookie? Your body says, oh, so this is how we're living now? You eat something salty, your ankle files a complaint. You drink wine. Your sleep schedule packs a suitcase and leaves. Suddenly, everything has rules. Watch your sodium. Watch your sugar. Drink enough water. Get enough protein. Eat your vegetables. Exercise. Stretch and sleep. Apparently, my body has become a full-time management position, and nobody mentioned the paperwork. Now, I understand taking care of ourselves is important. I really do. But I have a question. Who decided chocolate and wine weren't essential nutrients? Because I'd like to appeal that decision. I'm just saying. Maybe chocolate has emotional benefits. Maybe wine supports my ability to tolerate people. Maybe we just need more research. I'm willing to participate for science. Because life is too short to live in a world where every single thing you enjoy comes with a warning label. I mean, at some point, you have to ask yourself, do I want to live longer? Or do I want to enjoy the time I have left? And before anyone panics, yes, I know balance is important. I'm not saying eat an entire chocolate cake while drinking wine straight from the bottle. Although I'm not saying I haven't considered it as well. I'm just saying I want options. That's all. We were also told that by a certain age, we'd have everything figured out. Excuse me? When exactly was that supposed to happen? Because I must have missed that meeting. Was there a class? Did everyone else get a handbook? Because I'm over here just winging it. There shouldn't be an adult instruction manual. Chapter 1. How to pretend you know what you're doing. Chapter 2. How to pay bills without crying. Chapter 3. Where did I put my keys? Chapter 4. How to have a conversation with a customer service without completely losing your mind. Because honestly, I'm pretty sure adulthood is just pretending you know what's happening while searching the internet for answers. Nobody has it completely figured out. We're all just walking around saying, yep, everything's fine. Meanwhile, we're one expected expense away from sitting in the driveway, eating a snack, and considering every decision we've ever made. I have officially given up on trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. At this point, I'm working towards retirement. That's my career goal. Survive adulthood, pay the bills, protect my peace, and eventually escape into a life where my biggest responsibility is deciding what time my nap should be. So yes, I would like to cancel my adulting subscription. Unfortunately, I checked the terms and conditions. Apparently, there are no refunds. And speaking of subscriptions, can we talk about how everything is a subscription now? Everything. I feel like somewhere along the way we went from, would you like to buy this product? To, would you like to enter a lifelong financial relationship with this product? Because apparently nobody wants to sell us anything anymore. They want commitment. Streaming services? Subscription. Music? Subscription. Cloud storage? Subscription. Apps? Subscription. Coffee? Somehow even coffee wants a monthly commitment now. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I just want to buy something once and have it leave me alone. I don't need my toothbrush sending me a reminder that it misses me. I don't need my app asking if I still want to continue my relationship with it. We are not dating. You are a piece of software. Calm down. And the worst part? These subscriptions sneak up on you. They start out innocent. Oh, it's only $4.99 a month? $4.99? That's nothing. That's basically free. That's less than a fast food combo. Then suddenly, 6 months later, you're looking at your bank account wondering, who's taking all my money? And you realize you are personally funding 37 companies that provide you with entertainment, storage, reminders, and things you forgot you even signed up for. And honestly, don't even know everything I'm subscribed for anymore. I feel like I need to subscribe to a service that tells me what subscriptions I have. And yes, I realize that would probably be another subscription. This is how they get us. It's a trap. A very convenient, very entertaining, very expensive trap. Now, don't get me wrong. I love streaming. There is nothing better than ending a day putting on comfortable clothes, grabbing a snack, and watching something that requires absolutely no brain power, especially after a day of adulting. Sometimes my brain gets home before my body does and says, "We are done. No more decisions." And I respect that. But I swear, every company has figured out that we are tired. They know we are exhausted adults who just want convenience. And they said, "Perfect. Let's charge them monthly." I mean, honestly, respect the hustle. I'm annoyed, but I respect it. Now, meal kits are another one. I'm not saying meal kits are a bad idea. They actually sound amazing. Someone plans your meals. Someone buys the ingredients. Someone tells you what to cook. That sounds wonderful. The problem is, have you met me and hubby? We can't decide what we want for dinner until approximately 30 minutes before we need dinner. Every night is like a negotiation. What sounds good? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Nothing sounds good. Okay, what about this? No. What about this? No. What do you want? I don't know. This is not meal planning. This is an emotional hostage situation. So imagine us receiving a meal kit box. We open it, we look at the options, and then we both say, "Ugh, nothing sounds good." Meanwhile, there are beautiful, perfectly portioned ingredients sitting in the refrigerator, slowly losing hope. Those vegetables would just be staring at us like we had dreams. We thought we were going to become dinner. Instead, we became science. So we will continue doing what we do. We will wander through the grocery store together like two confused animals, standing in the aisles, looking at food, making decisions, changing our minds, going back for something we already passed 3 times, because apparently this is our process. Now, I recently discovered there are subscriptions for some of the strangest things, and I do mean strange. There are subscriptions where people receive letters from historical figures or people from the past. Letters. Actual letters from decades ago. And I have questions. First of all, who thought, you know what people need? Monthly emotional mail from someone who lived in the 1920s. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that is a very specific subscription. And then I thought, maybe I found my business opportunity. Maybe I should start a sarcasm subscription. Think about it. You're having a bad day? No problem. For a monthly fee, I will send you a letter reminding you that your problems are probably not as bad as you think. Need encouragement? I got you. Need someone to validate that your coworker is annoying? Absolutely. Need someone to tell you that buying another coffee mug was completely justified? I'm your girl. A monthly dose of sarcasm delivered right to your mailbox. Dear subscriber, congratulations. You survived another week of adulthood. Your reward is this sarcastic reminder that nobody knows what they're doing. Carry on. Honestly, I think I have something here. Then again, maybe not. Because why would anyone pay for sarcasm when you can get it free from your family, especially your spouse, especially after you've been married a while? That's where the premium sarcasm package comes from, the deluxe version, the lifetime membership. And speaking of things multiplying, Can we talk about subscription fees? Because those things multiply faster than the rabbits in our yard. And if you've followed Still Stella for any amount of time, you know we've entered dangerous territory. We may have a bunny apocalypse happening. Now listen, right now, they're adorable. They hop around, they look cute, they mind their business. They're just little desert creatures living their best life. But I have concerns, because every time I look out there, there are more. At what point do we stop calling it a bunny family and start calling it an organized operation? Because I'm pretty sure there's a bunny meeting happening somewhere. There's probably one bunny sitting there saying, "All right, everyone, today we expand territory. Tomorrow, the garden. Next week, the neighborhood." And honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. They're cute now, but everything has a turning point. A puppy is adorable till it eats your shoes. A kitten is precious until it attacks your feet at 3 a.m. And apparently, rabbits are adorable until they realize they outnumber you. I'm just saying, if one of those rabbits starts wearing a tiny trench coat and carrying a clipboard, I'm leaving. Because that is no longer wildlife, that is management. And I have enough management responsibilities. I don't need to add bunny negotiations to my schedule. I already have bills, subscriptions, household projects, and a hubby who occasionally needs help locating objects that are directly in front of him. Which brings us beautifully into the next topic, marriage. Because nothing says true love quite like spending 20 minutes helping someone find something they lost, only to discover it was exactly where you told them it was. Now, before I get started, I need to say something. I love my hubby. I really do. He is my person, my lobster, the one I choose to spend my life with, the one I laugh with, the one I annoy, the one who annoys me right back. Because let's be honest, marriage is finding that one special person you want to lovingly irritate for the rest of your life. And after you've been together long enough, you develop your own language. Some couples have romantic gestures. Some couples write love letters. Some couples buy flowers. Hubby and I, we roast each other. That's our love language. Nothing says romance like, "Where did you put your keys?" "Where they belong," which is exactly where you refuse to look. That's true love right there. Now, does anyone else notice that husbands have a special talent? They can lose something while standing directly in front of it. It's honestly impressive. It's almost a superpower. Hubby will walk into a room and say, "Have you seen my keys?" And I already know. And I already know exactly what's about to happen. Because this is not a question. This is the beginning of a scavenger hunt. I say, "Did you check the key tray?" "No." "Well, that's where they're supposed to be." "They're not there." Now this is where I have to fight the urge to say, "Did you actually look?" Because there's a very big difference between looking and husband looking. Husband looking is when you glance in the general direction of the item and immediately decide it does not exist. Wife looking is when you search every corner of the house, remember every place the item could possibly be, and you somehow find it. It is a completely different skill set. So then begins the investigation. I ask questions. When did you have them last? What did you do after that? Where did you go? What did you touch? Because I become a detective. I'm solving the mystery of the missing keys. We walk through the house, check in the kitchen, check in the table, check in the counter, check in the place where I've seen him put them 500 times. And eventually, there they are, right where he left them. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I know. You're surprised? I'm surprised. The whole household is stunned. And somehow, the conclusion is never, oh wow, I guess I misplaced them. No, there's always another explanation. Someone moved them. The house is haunted. The ghost did it. Now let's talk about this ghost. Because apparently there is a ghost living in our house, full-time job, hiding things. The ghost steals keys. The ghost moves phones. The ghost hides sunglasses. The ghost apparently has nothing better to do. I don't know about y'all, but if I was a ghost, I'd have bigger plans. I'm not spending eternity hiding car keys from a grown man. That is not a very fulfilling afterlife. But somehow, the ghost is always blamed. And honestly, I'm starting to feel bad for this ghost. It's getting blamed for everything. Did you lose your keys? Must have been the ghost. Did you forget where you put something? Ghost. Did you leave the cabinet door open? Probably the ghost. At this point, the ghost deserves a name and a retirement plan. Now here's where I get confused. Because after he loses stuff, he starts moving my stuff. Sir, excuse me. Do not bring me into this. Do not make me participate in your chaos. I do not need my belongings joining your scavenger hunt. I have enough responsibilities. I do not need to be standing in the kitchen saying, "Where did I put my thing?" Only to realize you moved it 3 feet away. And I have a theory. I think this might be a strategy. I think he moves my things so if he's lost, I'm also lost. He's trying to create equality. Like, well, if we're both confused, nobody's confused. Sir, that is not how this works. If everything disappears because both of us misplace things, nothing gets accomplished. We cannot have 2 people wandering around the house looking for everything. Someone has to be the responsible one. And unfortunately, that person appears to be me. I know, a shocking development. Now let's talk about another mystery. Laundry. Marriage laundry. Because I have questions. Why is it that when hubby does laundry, he does his laundry? Not our laundry, his. He will take the clothes out. He will fold his clothes. He will put his clothes away. And then my clothes get placed in a beautiful decorative pile. A pile, not folded, not hung, not organized, just a pile. A mountain of my clothing. And somehow, this pile is considered completely laundry. Sir, I have questions. Because when I do laundry, I don't separate it into mine is done, yours is a future problem. Now, no. We both get clean clothes, that's the deal. Now, I've tried this. I've thought, fine, 2 can play this game. I've considering folding only my clothes, leaving his in a pile. But here's the problem. His pile will sit there forever. Forever. It will become part of the furniture. Eventually, we'll have to move the clothes just so we can go to bed. And guess who moves them? Me. Because apparently, I'm the keeper of civilization. Now speaking of bed. Let's discuss something I've never understood. Why do couples have assigned sides of the bed? Seriously, how did this happen? Is there a ceremony? Do you sign paperwork? Do you have a meeting? Congratulations! After careful consideration, you've been assigned the left side. Because once you pick a side, that's it. It becomes law. You cannot casually switch. You cannot just wake up one morning and say, "Today I'm feeling adventurous. I'm taking your side." Nope. That's a violation. That changes the entire balance of the relationship. It's like moving furniture without permission. Now, personally, I prefer the side closest to the bathroom. And let's just say, age has made that decision for me. Because apparently, my bladder thinks nighttime is the perfect time to schedule multiple meetings. My bladder is very committed, very organized. Unfortunately, it does not share my desire to sleep through the night. But when we travel, things get interesting. Because hotel rooms completely destroy the system. Suddenly, we don't have our normal sides. We have to renegotiate. And honestly, it feels wrong, like we're pretending to be strangers. Who are these people sleeping on the wrong side? Now, with hubby's surgery and his arm recovery, things have gotten even more complicated because his arm needs space, which means he's slowly taken over the middle of the bed. And I'm over here clinging to the edge like I'm auditioning for a survival show. I'm basically hanging on by a corner of the mattress, trying not to accidentally bump him. Because apparently, my mission in life is protect the arm, protect the marriage, protect myself from falling off the bed. And then there's the temperature battle. Because menopause has opinions. My body is basically running its own weather system. 1 minute I'm freezing, the next minute I'm convinced I'm standing next to the sun. Hubby, meanwhile, likes the temperature set somewhere between Arctic expedition and why do we own blankets? He will be wrapped up like a burrito under 5 blankets saying, "It's freezing in here." Sir, you are wearing enough blankets to survive Antarctica. Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to sleep without having a personal tropical storm. This is love. This is marriage. This is compromise. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it, even when he drives me crazy. Even when I have to find the keys. Even when the laundry pile appears. Because the truth is, life is more fun when you have someone beside you who laughs with you through the chaos. Even if occasionally you want to gently remind them where the keys are. Now this brings us perfectly into household projects. Because nothing says I love you and I choose you forever quite like standing in front of a home improvement store together while both people secretly believed the only qualified person in the building is them. There's something about a household project that changes people. You start out with confidence. You have a vision. You have a plan. You are excited. You think this is gonna be easy. Famous last words, because every household project starts the same way. Someone has an idea, usually me. I say, "Hey, I think we should fix this." And instead of immediately saying, "Great idea, let's do it," there is suddenly an investigation, a full investigation. Questions, concerns, a review board, a committee meeting. Why do we need to do that? How long will it take? How much will it cost? Are you sure? Have you researched this? Sir, it is a project, not a NASA launch. We're not sending anything into space. We're hanging something, fixing something, or improving something. But somehow, every household project requires a presentation. I feel like I should have to prepare slides. Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be presenting my proposal for improving this area of the house. Slide 1, why is this necessary? Slide 2, materials needed. Slide 3, why I do not need to be supervised every 12 seconds. Because here's the funny thing. If it's his idea, different story. Suddenly, we are moving. Suddenly, we are researching. Suddenly, we're at Home Depot before I can even finish my sentence. There are measurements, there are discussions, and there are tools involved. There is excitement. But if I have the same idea, now we need evidence. We need a feasibility study. Now we need to discuss the risks. Sir, the risk is that if I get tired of waiting and do it myself, and let me be clear, I appreciate hubby, I really do. He is helpful, he's supportive, he has skills, but sometimes, he forgets that I also have been doing things my entire life. I've managed homes, I've fixed things, I've figured things out. I'm not helpless. I may ask for help. I may want another opinion, but asking for help doesn't mean I have handed over my brain. That thing is still attached. It still works. Mostly. Now, since hubby has been recovering from surgery, this has added a whole new level to household projects because he cannot physically do everything right now, which means he's entered his favorite role, project supervisor. And let me tell you, the supervisor position comes with a lot of confidence. A lot. He may not be able to lift things. He may not be able to do all the physical work. But somehow, his ability to have opinions remains fully operational. Amazing. Truly impressive. The man's arm is recovering, but his commentary is stronger than ever. And I understand. I really do. Because if the roles were reversed, I'd probably struggle too. It's hard to sit and watch someone else do something when you know how you do it. You want to help. You want to protect them. You want to make sure it's done correctly. I get it. But there's a fine line between helping and hovering. And sometimes hubby crosses that line. Sometimes he's not supervising. Sometimes he's providing a live director's commentary. Are you sure? Yes. Did you measure? Yes. Did you think about this? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. At that point, I start questioning whether I need a hammer or a therapist. Just kidding. Mostly. Now, our current household project is actually part of our tortoise enclosure. And if you followed along with our adventures, you know we live in the desert, which means we get to experience some very interesting weather, including something I'd never really experienced before, microbursts. Now, if you don't know what a microburst is, imagine Mother Nature saying, you know what this peaceful neighborhood needs? Chaos. Absolute chaos. A microburst is basically a tiny weather tantrum, a sudden burst of wind that comes through and decides everything outside needs to be relocated. It picks things up, moves things around, throw things where they don't belong. It's basically nature's version of a toddler cleaning their room. Except instead of putting things away, it launches them into your neighbor's yard. We've watched things fly that had no business flying. Things that look like they should have been permanently attached to the ground. The doggy pool, at one point, looked like a flying saucer. I'm not exaggerating. This thing lifted up, traveled through the yard, hit the fence, and dropped. I stood there watching, thinking, well, that was unexpected. I mean, when your backyard furniture starts attempting flight, you know Mother Nature has opinions. Unfortunately, one of these microbursts decided the shade sail over the tortoise enclosure needed to become a kite. And apparently, it succeeded. The shade sail came down, which meant new project. Now, I love our tortoises. They are adorable. They have personalities. They are basically tiny dinosaurs with strong opinions. And they deserve a safe, comfortable home. So naturally, we need to rebuild and strengthen the structure, which meant a trip to Home Depot. Actually, multiple trips to Home Depot, because nobody has ever completed a home improvement project with only one trip. That is a myth, a fairy tale, a fantasy. The same way people believe they will go into Target for one thing and come out spending exactly what they had planned. It does not happen. You go into Home Depot needing one piece of wood, You leave with wood, brackets, screws, something you might need someday, something you definitely don't need, but it was on sale, and somehow a plant. Nobody knows how the plant happened. It just did. So after our Home Depot adventures, we were ready. The plan was simple: build stronger support, secure the shade, protect the tortoises. Easy, except remember, hubby is supervising. So when I say we built it, let's clarify. By we, I mean I was doing the work, and hubby was providing quality control from a distance with opinions, lots of opinions. Are you sure? Yes. Did you put that in right? Yes. Maybe you should. Hubby? Yes. I love you. Yes. Please stop talking for 5 minutes, because sometimes love means knowing when to step away. And sometimes love means recognizing that the person holding the tool is getting dangerously close to needing alone time. Now, I will admit, there was a moment where a screw did not cooperate, a moment where the board split, a moment where I had to stand there and regroup. And hubby immediately noticed. Of course he did, because apparently husbands have a built-in radar for when moments they can say, "See? No. No, sir. This is not your moment. I know the screw split. I have eyes. I am aware. Please allow me a moment to process before this becomes a documentary about my mistake. Because nothing escalates a household project faster than someone pointing out the thing you already know happened. I don't need a narrator. I'm living it." So I took a breath, I adjusted, I fixed it, and we moved forward. Because that's what you do. You figure it out, you laugh about it, and eventually, hopefully, nobody ends up needing to call the police. That is the goal. And honestly, that's what marriage and life are really about. Not perfection, not having everything go smoothly. It's about two people standing in the chaos saying, "Well, that didn't go according to plan," and then figuring it out together. Even if one person is holding the tools and the other person is holding the opinions. After all of this, after the adulting, the bills, the subscriptions, the missing keys, the laundry, the bed negotiations, the Home Depot adventures, the flying dog pool, the microbursts, the tortoise enclosure drama, the bunny apocalypse concerns, I think we can all agree on one thing. Nobody really knows what they are doing, and honestly, that might be the biggest secret nobody tells you. When we were younger, we thought adults had it all figured out. We thought our parents knew everything. We thought someday we'd reach this magical age where we'd suddenly have all the answers, where everything would make sense, where we would wake up and say, "Ah, yes, I completely understand life now." Nope, still waiting. I'm over here with a phone full of reminders, a calendar full of appointments, and a list of things I swear I'm going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is doing a lot of heavy lifting in my life. Tomorrow is basically my unpaid assistant. Need to organize something? Tomorrow. Need to clean something? Tomorrow. Need to finally cancel that subscription I forgot I had? Definitely tomorrow. And let's be honest, sometimes tomorrow comes and we just move everything to the next tomorrow. That's called prioritizing. At least that's what I'm telling myself, because somewhere along the way we've stopped expecting ourselves to be perfect. We have to stop believing that everyone has some secret instruction manual that we missed. They don't. They're just figuring it out too. Some people are just better at pretending. And honestly, I think pretending you have it together is a major part of adulthood. You walk into a meeting, you nod confidently. You say, "That makes sense." Meanwhile, your brain is saying, absolutely none of this makes sense. We're just going to smile and hope for the best. That is adulthood. And you know what? Maybe that's okay. Because life was never supposed to be perfectly organized. It was never supposed to be one smooth, predictable journey where everything goes according to plan. If it was, we would all be bored. The funny stories come from the chaos. The memories come from the unexpected moments. The laughter comes from standing in the middle of the disaster saying, well, that's not what I expected. Those are the stories we tell. Those are the moments we remember. Nobody sits around years later saying, remember that time everything went exactly as planned? No, nobody cares. But they remember the time the dog pool flew across the yard. They remember the time hubby couldn't find something that was right in front of him. They remember the ridiculous arguments about the thermostat. They remember laughing until they cried. That's the good stuff. That's life. And that's why I think we need to give ourselves a little more grace. Because we are all carrying things people don't see. We're all managing responsibilities. We're all trying to keep everything moving. Sometimes we're crushing it. Sometimes we're eating chocolate and wondering if ignoring our problems counts as a strategy. Some days we're productive adults. Other days we are just proud we remembered to drink water. And honestly, both count. Now I want to talk about something important. The people we choose to share this chaos with. Because life is hard enough. You want people around you who make the chaos lighter. People who laugh with you. People who support you. People who don't secretly hope you fail. And if you have those people, hold on to them because they are priceless. The friends who know you're crazy. The people who've seen you at your best and your absolute hot mess moments. The ones who will sit with you through the chaos and still say, yep, that's my person. Those are your people. And if you have a partner who laughs with you, supports you, annoys you just enough to keep things interesting, well, maybe you found your lobster, even if they leave your laundry in a pile, even if they can't find their keys, even if they question your construction skills while you're holding power tools. Because at the end of the day, the goal was never perfection. The goal was connection. The goal was laughter. The goal was finding someone who makes the hard days a little easier and the good days even better. So today's lessons, number 1, adulting is absolutely a scam. Unfortunately, there is no customer service number to cancel it. I checked. Number 2, subscriptions multiply faster than desert rabbits. Seriously, check your bank account. There may be a streaming service in there that you don't even remember inviting. Number 3, household projects are not really about the project. They're about patience, communication, and occasionally deciding whether you love someone to ignore their commentary. And finally, number 4, laugh. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at the chaos. Laugh at the ridiculous moments. Because life is too short to take everything so seriously. So, thank y'all so much for listening. Remember to tell your people you love them. Life is short. Laugh while you can. Love your people fiercely. Give yourself a little grace. And don't waste too much time chasing perfection. Because perfection isn't nearly as memorable as authenticity. And authenticity comes with wrinkles, gray hair, laugh lines, a few extra pounds we're pretending not to notice, a little sarcasm, and a whole lot of stories. So, marry your lobster, drink the rum, eat the chocolate. Get the deal if it's really a deal. Cancel the subscription if you can remember your password. Hug the friends who don't secretly root against you. And if you happen to find a raccoon in a tiny trench coat, tell them I'm hiring. I have questions, I have concerns, and honestly, I think he might be better at managing the bunny situation than I am. Thank y'all so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's chaos, be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Leave a review if you're feeling generous. Share this episode with your real ones, especially the ones who have ever searched for their keys while holding them, who've argued about thermostat settings, who've bought another subscription they forgot about, or who have ever stood in the middle of a Home Depot improvement project wondering, how did we get here? Because those are our people. Until next time, keep laughing through the chaos, keep giving yourself grace, and as always, keep living life sarcastically. Thank you for listening to Still Stella, Living Life Sarcastically.